Am I the a-hole for replacing my daughter and not including her as a part of my new family? I have 4 daughters, Charlie 25 and Amy 21, and my stepdaughters Claudia 15 and Rose 17. I had a son Isaac who was Charlie's twin who passed away from leukemia when he was 19. When he was diagnosed at 14, there was a lot of medical bills to pay for Isaac's treatment, and I ended up working a lot to pay for his hospital bills. During that time, my ex-wife Brenda slept with this guy Jake behind my back. I found out about the affair, and we had a divorce when the twins were 15 and Amy 11. All of them knew the full story of what happened, and my ex and I had 50-50 custody. Charlie visited Brenda till she was 16, after which she stopped. We told Amy what happened when she was 14, but the thing is, Jake is quite wealthy, and Amy preferred us there more because she got spoiled. She eventually chose to stay with Brenda when she turned 16. During this period, I met Lucy. I fell in love with her and got married when the twins were 19. Lucy herself had 2 daughters, Claudia and Rose, and they were both welcomed into the family. My son passed away a few months later. When Amy moved in with her mom permanently, she cut off all ties with us. She didn't leave peacefully too. She insulted everyone in the family and left. One of the things she yelled was, "I don't want to be a part of this crappy family." Then went no contact. On November, Jake and Brenda were charged with fraud, breaking and entering, and apparently they were also in debt. They lost their homes and were thrown in jail. And since none of the other relatives were able to take her in, Amy came to us. I didn't want to take her in, but Lucy convinced me to let her stay for a bit till she gets back on her feet. Well, ever since she left, there have been a lot of changes to the house, and Amy has been complaining about them since she arrived. She complains about how she can't touch the snacks, and how she has to pay for her own snacks and clothes, though we feed her 3 meals a day plus afternoon snacks. How she was given the smallest guest bedroom, while the other girls got big personalized bedrooms. How on Christmas the girls got amazing gifts, and she only got a gift card. The last straw for her was New Year's Eve. We took the girls to a big party while she stayed at home. When we got back, she started yelling at me how I'm a horrible father and how I replaced her with Claudia and Rose. I told her that she's the one who renounced the family, and so she wasn't allowed in family things. But a lot of people are telling me that I'm essentially replacing her for something she did when she was a young impulsive teen. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Edit. I would like to add that everyone including her has been in therapy before she left and after she came back. Nothing has come out of it. Amy has also made it clear she wants no relationship with me and is here because she's desperate. And by made it clear, she told it to my face. Now for the top comments. The story as is would make Opie not the a-hole, but I really don't trust this clearly partial retelling of why the daughter went no contact. There's no way the daughter wasn't more clear than, "I hate this crappy family," especially since Opie's saying it's one of the things she yelled. So what was the rest, Opie? Most kids don't go no contact without a very good reason. To be honest, I only remember a few of the things she yelled at me. Along with calling us crappy, she called my wife the S-word, called me and Charlie pathetic for still grieving Isaac. And the one that hits me the most is how she said she wished I had let Isaac die, instead of paying for his treatment. If I'm reading this right, Amy wrote y'all off at 16, and now 5 years later at 21 years old has lost everything and is moving back because she has nowhere else to go? And you have been treating her as less than ever since. Are y'all charging her rent? Does she have a job? What is the long-term goal? It sounds like she isn't quite a family member but not quite a tenant either. She just exists in a home where she has to buy her own snacks? Nope, she doesn't pay rent. She works as a cashier and has been saving money for paying rent at her dorm. Plan is to let her stay until February. According to her college, that's when the paperwork to get her into dorms will take to process. After that, whatever happens is her business. We aren't treating her less. For Christmas, she wanted the same gift Charlie got, a new computer that I saved up for 6 months to buy. And for New Year's, we were going with Lucy's family and she's always rude and disrespectful to them. They came over for Christmas and she insulted them a bit. And you have to realize that we are only making her buy extra snacks. We do tea here, and for that we give her pie, cake, and whatever we are eating is whatever she gets. Not the a-hole. She made her decisions and these are the consequences. Has she apologized for what she did? If she wants things to improve, that would be a start. Nope. Next story. Am I the a-hole for robbing my brother of his full inheritance? My brother Ben, 35, is spoiled. Mom favored him over us girls. He always got what he wanted or he threw tantrums, even at my sister's funeral. She was 16, Ben 14, and me 11. My dad has 2 brothers and 1 sister. When my uncle was 22, he came out as gay. My grandparents were shocked, but they loved and accepted him for who he was. My dad married my mom and with my uncle did lots together. So to us, he was the fun uncle. My aunt and other uncle married their partners, but they were always critical of my other uncle because of his life choices. My grandparents held a family together, but in 2016, they both died within 9 months of each other. My aunt and uncle then disowned my gay uncle. He was upset, but he and my dad have always been close, so we became his only family. In 2019, my uncle was diagnosed with lung cancer. He rewrote his will and asked my brother to be executor because dad wasn't coping with him being sick. Ben also accepted because he believed that my uncle would split everything between him and myself. My uncle died in May 2021. My dad, my uncle's boyfriend, and I were with him. I called and messaged my brother repeatedly, but he didn't answer or come to say goodbye. At a funeral, dad was a mess, but my brother was giddy. A couple of weeks of my brother pestering my dad to find a will later, we looked in my uncle's safe. Dad unlocked it and Ben grabbed the paperwork. Soon after, he swiped everything off my uncle's desk, swore, yelled, then stormed out. Later, I found a will, and my uncle had split his estate 4 ways. 1/4 each to my brother, myself, my uncle's boyfriend, and cancer research. Ben was angry because he only got 1/4, so he contested the will. He claimed that he only accepted a job of executor because he was promised half. He believed he should get half, and the other half should be split 3 ways. It went to court in October 2022. I testified, and when asked if my brother should get half of the estate because of all the work he had to do, I said no. I said my dad and I had done more than my brother helping my uncle simplify his affairs prior to his death, and that my uncle was a deliberate man, and we should respect his wishes. Ben was livid, but still thought he would win. He didn't. Then early December, I was notified that Ben got 1/4 minus costs, and the rest of us got 1/4 each. He went nuts, demanding I compensate him because I cost him his money. My mother blew up my phone with, "How could I do this to her baby?" And relatives are telling me I did a wrong thing. Mom banned me from Christmas because of my poor behavior. My parents divorced when I was 16, then told everyone I refused to come after what I did. Ben had a New Year's Eve party and my sister-in-law sent me a message saying sorry, with a picture of my photo on Ben's dartboard and a sign telling his guests to throw darts at me and to message my number and tell me I'm an a-hole. I only got 2 messages from his friends, so I don't think I am. But Reddit, am I the a-hole? Not the a-hole. Your brother took an unwinnable case to court and he lost. The fact that you got asked on stand what is fair is really weird. It doesn't really have anything to do with the case. Your brother lost because he took his stupid case to court. You didn't do anything. Are you sure your mom knows the same story that you tell us here? Because from what you say here, there was nothing you did. Are you sure that your brother doesn't have a different version of events? My mother believes that her baby should have everything he wants. He has always been the favorite child, and my mother has never treated us equally. If she didn't have enough money for us all to have a treat like ice cream, she would buy him one and us girls nothing. She would say, "You girls always get so much," but she never got us anything without buying him something too. I paraphrased the court proceedings due to the character count. I had twice the character count when I first typed it out. Oops. So my mother was at Ben's New Year's Eve party and she didn't shut down his behavior with a dartboard. She knows the story, but she only cares about her baby. Your mother was at a party where your face was on a dartboard? Yeah, you don't need her in your life. That sucks, and I'm sorry. But your life will make a whole lot more sense once you've reduced her role. I don't really understand why you maintain a relationship with these people. Often, folks here are deluded into thinking others care about them when they don't. But you seem very clear-eyed that they hate you. What exactly do you get out of the relationships with your mother and brother? It is becoming clearer. I guess I have been conditioned to accept being treated like this, so I just took it. I am learning a lot, and I kind of wish I had posted about my family sooner. I honestly get nothing from the relationship with my mother and brother, but it's hard to let go of an ideal, I guess. Next story. Am I the a-hole for skipping New Year's Eve at my child-free sister's? Last week, I hosted Christmas for my family. I, 33 male, have a 2-year-old with my wife. Every year, it's at my sister, parents, or my house, and it rotates every year. One of us hosts Thanksgiving/Christmas/New Year's. In the last year, my sister, who is vocally child-free, got a dog. I love my sister, but we are very much opposites. So when I had my kid, it changed our relationship a bit. She tolerates, in her words, my son. She's never watched him. I've also never asked. My son is present at all family functions, and this annoys my sister. My sister has turned into your classic dog mom. World revolves around a dog type. I do not own dogs and really don't want to be around them. I don't want them in my house. Well, my sister wanted to bring her dog to Christmas and I said no. As well trained and overall okay for a dog, I just didn't want it at my house or even in my yard. She complied and left it alone but was not happy about and let me know that several times. The day before New Year's Eve, she told me that kids weren't welcome at her house. I was taken aback by this and asked why. She just said alcohol would be present as we all drink and family friends also come to this party, and just said it wouldn't be appropriate for a 2-year-old to be present. My wife and I had planned to only stay till 10 anyway and then would go home because of our kid. We thought about it and opted to not go at all, and respected my sister's wishes by keeping the kid at home. I let her know a half hour before the party started. Wife and I treated it like any other night, wouldn't even stay up till midnight. By 11, I noticed missed calls from her and didn't answer. Fell asleep while texts started coming in, calling me an a-hole, calling me a dog hater, saying it was rude I didn't come to the party. Said it was BS that she got my kid a Christmas present but didn't get her dog anything. The list went on, and she was clearly drunk. I tried to call her, she didn't answer, and got a text, "I'm not answering, a-hole." So am I the a-hole here? Now for the comments. Said it was BS that she got my kid a Christmas present but didn't get her dog anything. I know this must have been super unpleasant to deal with, but it cracked me up. Your sister sounds difficult. Not the a-hole. This reminds me of a deleted post from the other day. A gal was 4 months preggo and was mad her mother-in-law didn't get her unborn child a Christmas gift and went off. Difficult, entitled, arduous is the sister, and it's all sad yet oddly funny in a warped Reddit way. OP not the a-hole. Yeah, crazy. My comment was along the lines of, but it's really difficult to shop for a fetus. Not the a-hole. I say this as a kid and a dog lover. She was testing you and wanted you to protest when she said that her nephew wasn't welcome. You didn't take the bait, and she ironically threw a toddler-sized tantrum. Good for you and your wife for not arguing, complying, and staying home. The only misstep is that you called her back. Should have just ignored it. I would leave it alone. This is a her problem, not a you problem. And no, you didn't need to get her dog a gift. I rolled my eyes at that one. Lol. I can't stand children and love dogs. Sister is on some weird power trip, thinking other people should treat her dog the same as they treat a related child. I bet the sister wanted an argument, because you don't spam messages at someone during a party, unless you care more about the arguments you are causing than having fun. Last story. Am I the a-hole for not inviting my stepmother to my wedding? I, 32 female, am getting married to my fiancé, 38 male this year. My parents separated when I was 14 years old. My dad left my mom for a secretary we'll call Anna after my mom was in an accident that left her badly visibly scarred, leaving her to raise my 2 sisters, both 25 twins, and me alone. This completely devastated my mom and she was depressed for a long time. She's okay now, but she's never completely recovered. I'm the oldest child by a long stretch, and I was basically left to raise my sisters and look after my mom for a lot of my teenage years. I was very, very angry for a long time, and I refused to see my dad until I was in my mid-20s. However, both my younger sisters were slightly too young to grasp what happened and continued to visit him on the weekends. They bonded a lot better with Anna than I did, and in many ways, she was like a mom to them. She introduced them to a lot of female things, like makeup and fashion, because my mom's scarring meant she didn't feel comfortable with that kind of thing. I started speaking to my dad again about 7 years ago, and we now have an okay relationship. I understand a lot better at this age that love isn't easy, and you can't help who you fall for. I'm also on reasonable terms with his wife, who has tried extremely hard to bond with me since I was a teenager. My mom has never fully recovered from what happened and never found anyone else. She can just about stand being in the same room as my dad without crying nowadays, but she absolutely cannot see his wife. She's not cruel or dramatic about this. She just politely declines invitations to events if she knows Anna will be present. For previous events like graduations, Anna has always declined the invite, saying she doesn't want to put my mom in an uncomfortable position and pushed my dad to go alone. However, with my wedding, things haven't exactly gone like that. I tried to be as nice as I could about it, and I invited Anna out for a meal and told her that I was sorry, but that it was important to me to have my mom at my wedding than her, so I was going to have to ask her not to come to the wedding. Anna said that she understood, that she expected it, and that I needed to do what's best for my mom. My dad, on the other hand, became extremely angry at me when he heard. He called me up and essentially said, if she's not coming, then he's not. Both my sisters have found out about this, and they're extremely upset with me too, and are also threatening not to come. I'm not sure if I'm the a-hole here. This is a tough one. Your father abandoned all of you, and it was you and your mother who bore the brunt of the consequences of his actions. Suddenly having to raise 3 girls on her own must have been scary and stressful for your mom, and you had to take on that stress as well, caring for your sisters and helping your mom through all of that difficulty. Meanwhile, your father got to go and start a brand new life with his secretary and got to be the fun weekend dad to your younger sisters when it was convenient for him. I see comments on here telling you that you and your mother need to get over the past, but the fact that you both still carry a lot of that weight from the past with you shows how heavy it all truly was for you. Honestly, you don't owe your father a thing. You have been graceful with both he and his wife, and for them to demand that you place their attendance at your wedding above your mother's is out of line. It's your wedding. If you don't want people there that stir up difficult and painful emotions for you and your mother, then you have every right to not invite them. You have not been unkind to either of them, and you've handled this in a very gentle and civil way. You are not obligated to accommodate them any more than you already have. Not the a-hole. Update. Thanks all. Your comments have made me see sense. I'm going to take my dad up on his offer not to come and let my sisters know they're welcome not to either. My mom's my best friend. She's been there for me my entire life, even through her own misery. If no one else comes, but she's there, I'll be happy. Update 2. Called my dad. Tried to appease/diffuse the situation by apologizing. Tried to explain that I understand his point of view, and that I respect his relationship, but that I can't ask mom to go through that, and that it would spoil the day for me knowing the pain she'd be going through. Ask him if he'd consider doing something just the 4 of us. Him, Anna, me, fiancé, or maybe the 6 of us with my sisters. A nice dinner somewhere, paid for by my fiancé and I, so we can celebrate our union together. He hung up the phone. So there you go. That's my dad.